The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Yeah, Earnestly Speaking podcast. Let's get it. I'm a giant in New York, in Miami carry heat. So much more in store, my product can flood the street. Opinion Nation Godfather, CEO. Pop in the late 90s, gon' see me blow. Oh, got my hustle on, no imitation or bad. Army of untouchables, Opinion Nation staff. Never an off season, homie, check the numbers. Heart throbbing my own right, supplying southern comfort. Earnestly speaking, my ego is well fed. Earnestly speaking, you're too feeble and no threat. See, I'm like a hurricane, you're a mild breeze. Earnestly speaking, leaving Eli a dynasty. Shake!
Perfect podcast with you, January 18th, 2024. Look who's back. It's the man, Sir Denny Blanco. We were supposed to nice shirt in once. Is that sweater? Is that a shirt? Nice setup there. Are you freezing cold? What's going on here with you?
Listen, man, it's New York City, man. You never know with this cold. You know, I'm a tropical brother, so you know I'm always taking precaution. I don't fight the cold, so I'm always prepared. I got this, covering my bald head. You're a bald head brother, so you understand the verdict when it comes to the. Well, then again, you may not have the cold hitting you in the head where you're at currently. But
when you say you're a tropical brother, where exactly you talk?
Ghana, Africa.
True. Right. Okay. So, what is it right now up there in New York? Right now, what's the weather up there now currently?
It was just like 18. Now it's 36. It's rising a little bit. There's a little sweater, so I'm always warm, even though it's warm in my house. I'm always walking around fully sweated up. So thank you so much for having me. Once again,
read that number. What did that say?
You're trying to piss me off early. Is that what you're trying to do? Like
72 degrees, my friend.
Nah, you're trying to get me angry early. I like that. I like where we're going.
So all my friends are like up north. Like I tell them it's cold. It's cold. My God, it's cold here. How cold is it here? 56 degrees.
No, they don't know cold. That's not cold.
Fam. I'm born in New York for the record, so I know what you're going through. I'm born in Brooklyn, so I know what you're going through. Trust me. But it's been a long time since I dealt with that. So,
okay.
But anyway, we wanted to do this podcast earlier this morning, but technical issues prevented that. But I'm glad to get us in today finally. We got a lot to get to, bro. First off, Happy New Year, number one. It's been a little bit, it's about a month or some odd weeks since we last spoke. A lot's happening in the NBA. I mean, a lot happening in the NBA. We already had two quality trades in just one half season. Let's start the most recent one first. Pascal Siakam. It's over. He's in Indiana. Denny, does this move the needle a little bit for the Pacers? And if so, how much?
I was just talking about this with my big bro, Randy J. Krause. It's in the Game pod. Shout out to everyone listening and watching. Please check that out. It's in the Game pod.
Absolutely.
So NBA standings. I mean, I was looking at the standings earlier today and I was talking it over. And I'm like, well, does this make them the Indiana Pacers? Adding Pascal Siakam, does this make them better than the Heat? Possibly. They're right now, the Indiana Pacers number 7, right? You got the Heat, the Knicks, the Cavs, the Sixers, the Bucks, and the Celtics in front of them. So I look at the Knicks. I don't think it makes them better than the Knicks. I don't think it makes them better than the Cavs. I don't think it makes them better than the Bucks, the Sixers, or the Celtics. So, yeah, it gets them maybe a first round good push in the playoffs, maybe a first round upset. Who knows, depending on the seeding, because the way it's looking, it's a log jam. A couple of games, you got a Cavs, Knicks, Heat, all 24-17, 15. So it's a couple of games that separates them. So the seeding is very important. You don't want to run into the Bucks, the Sixers, or the Celtics. So to answer your question shortly, to the point, it's great that Siakam gets out of there, out of Toronto, and he gets to run with shout out to Tyrese Halliburton,
yes,
the point guard His point production may increase, and Halliburton's assists may increase as well with him there. So it's a good trade for Indiana for sure.
I'm not delusional to think that obviously this is going to make them compete with the Celtics and the Bucks on the top of the East. I'm not delusional to think that, but you got to figure with that offense, number one offense in basketball, I think it is as of this recording, that they're at least going to be a tough out number one in the first round, depending where they land. And this is Indiana. It's a small market Indiana. You got to do something. People are like, so why do you make this move? For what reason? You might lose them in free agency. Maybe. We'll see. But you're Indiana. You got a superstar now in Halliburton. You got to start somewhere. And Siakam Siakam at least gets you in the conversation of at least making some noise in the middle of the Eastern Conference. And maybe this is a move to make another move down the road. Maybe this attracts other free agents in the future.
From what they're talking, Siakam's trying to sign a long-term deal. From what they're talking.
Rights. They got the word rights.
Yeah, so they got some young guns. They got Buddy Hield, Obi Toppin.
Yeah.
They got Turner. They got, obviously Halliburton. They go 8-9 deep in the rotation. Yeah. So yes, it's possible, depending on the seeding, they could upset somebody in the first round.
I don't think get much in his deal, honestly. Bruce Brown was probably the only other name in this deal. A couple firsts. That's about it.
It was light. It wasn't heavy at all. Shout out to Rick Carlisle. He's building something special over there. He's running, aka Jim Carrey. He's running he's running these young boys up and down the court with Tyrese just giving everybody easy buckets. Yeah. Shout out to all the kids listening and watching. Guys, if you pay attention, you could be very, very, very productive scoring as well as passing the ball. Yeah. A lot of people want to be Steph Curry. Great, that's great. It's great. Yeah. But you could be Tyrese Halliburton too.
Yes, you can. And he's good. That boy good. The other big trade that happened a few weeks ago was OG Anunoby, another Raptors dump to the Knicks. And they've been playing very well since that move. Again, like the same question I asked you about Siakam, I asked with the Knicks. And we've already had a couple, at least a 3-week sample of what we've seen with Anunoby with the Knicks. Neil mover. And how much?
I love the trade. I didn't like the trade. I love the trade. He is a piece that gives you an opportunity to lean back a little bit when it comes to defense. He's going to be put on the Tatums, the Browns. Yeah. He's going to be put on the Dame Lillards. He's going to be put on the Tyrese Maxeys. He's going to be put on the Donovan Mitchells. Okay, so that gives a little, for Tibbs, Coach Tibbs, that gives a little relaxation to the heart there. 66 years old. Happy birthday, Big Tibbs.
As yesterday,
happy birthday, Big Tibbs. Big Tibbs. With the addition of OG Anunoby, this does get you. This makes me comfortable in knowing that you can get to the second or third round, very much so. With what you have, I think you're one more piece away. I don't know what piece that is, but there's a couple of people out there that I think if you add them, you need a guy who can create his own shot. Okay, Anunoby doesn't need his number called, but you need a guy who's going to be able to create his own shot come playoff time. It's very important come playoff time. Do not get rid. Shout out to the Knicks fans. I'm all over Twitter, baby. NBA whisper, baby. Right. I'm all over Twitter. I'm paying attention. I'm listening. I'm listening to the tea leaves.
That's right.
And I did see some things about Grimes possibly being on the trading block. I don't know how true that is. However, you'd be silly to trade Grimes. Silly.
I saw that tweet earlier today. You put that out though.
He is their only shooter. Let me explain. Yeah, people shoot. Yeah, you have like Jalen Brunson could shoot. Yeah, Randall could shoot. I'm talking about, if you can understand this, if I put this down for you, there are shooters and then there's streak shooters. So what I mean by that is Grimes is a shooter. Let me tell you who else is in the NBA is a shooter. Obviously, Curry's a shooter. Clay's a shooter. If I go down a couple of, but watch this. I know how good you are, EJ. Watch this.
Okay.
Watch this, guys. Boston Celtics, they got this guy, I think his number was 30. what's his old boy's name?
Not Kristaps,
He's
is
on the
it?
Boston
No.
Celtics. What's his name? Hauser?
Hauser,
was
yeah,
his name?
right.
Shooter.
Right.
Shooter. Go to the Bucks. Got Dame Lillard there, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You can't leave Brook Lopez anymore.
Nope.
You can't leave Middleton. Shooters, right? When I say shooters, that's what I'm talking about.
Even Miami, Hero and Robinson, same thing.
Hero, Duncan Rob, same thing. These guys are pure shooters. You don't get rid of these guys at all.
No.
You need shooters in the playoffs. You need
Especially
guys that
NBA.
can defend. You need guys that can defend. You need guys that can distribute. You need guys that can create their own shot. And you need guys that can shoot for spacing. Grimes is not a guy you get rid of. So please, and if you do get rid of him, you better be bringing in somebody like, I don't know, Murray from Atlanta, Zach LaVine. I don't know if that's going to work because Tibbs has got rid of him.
I'm not big on Zach LaVine, honest. I don't know how you feel about Zach LaVine.
There you
I'm
go.
not big on that dude.
So yeah, there you go. Whoever you bring in, that person best be able to create his own shot, for the betterment of the Knicks. Because right now they're 5th, and they're in the middle of the pack. They can easily be 8th in the blink of an eye. Magic can go on a run. The Pacers could go on a run. The Heat could go on a run. You never know. But the top 3, I think, are going to be stationary for a period of time. The way they're stacked in terms of talent, Boston, the Bucks, and the Sixers, I think they're locked at 3. 4, 5, and 6. That's going to be interesting where that shuffle goes before come playoff time and where it's set. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, is right there, the conference, right there, the standings, Eastern Conference. Yeah, that we say 4 through 6, 4 through 7, 4 through 8. I can argue that number 2 and 3 aren't far off from the middle of the pack either. If they go on a little bit of a balloon streak next couple of weeks, they could be right in the middle of the glut also too. Milwaukee and Philadelphia.
Absolutely,
so it's a little bit muddy there, buddy. But
but I say top 3. The top 3 is going to stay locked is because obviously the Tatum and Brown connection. You have obviously Giannis and Dame over there playing, and then you have Joel Embiid just doing what he's supposed to do.
Am I wrong for thinking though? Sorry to cut you up. Am I wrong for thinking for Milwaukee? Look, it's a good record, obviously 20-13. I mean, they're winning games and stuff and whatnot. But am I wrong for thinking they feel a little disappointing though?
Disappointing?
It feels a little disappointing. Maybe it's optics, I guess.
For the Bucks, I mean, no, they're second in the East. They're
right.
28-13. They're right behind the Boston Celtics. So no, I don't think that
maybe it's the defense playing so bad this year too. Also, maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're not as locked in as a defensive team as they were in the past.
Well, I mean, looking at their record, 19-4 at home, 9-9 away.
Right.
So I mean, they're obviously they haven't gone on a winning streak as of late, but
yeah.
I think no, I don't think they're a disappointment at all. I think they're right where they're supposed to be. 1 or 2 for sure for the talent they have.
By the way, Boston 20-0 at home. I just realized that
they're not to be messed with at home.
It's
going to go through Boston. It's going to go through Boston. I mean, I've picked them to represent the East in the finals. Mm-hmm. I have no, they're too high powered for me anyway. And yes. So somebody could, say in the background, they may live and die by the 3 from time to time, but it looks like Tatum has found it that in between where it's like, no, I can, get the mid range and then get KP on that pick and roll,
right,
and not rely on that 3 anymore because I'm more deadly once I get in the middle of the paint. They'll draw, and then I can kick. So, or throw the lob to KP. So, hopefully, they continue that through the playoffs.
I will say this: Boston, it feels like Tyler bust this year for them. Tyler bust at this point.
Well, it's always Tyler bust when you have the guy making $290 million,
right?
Yeah. I mean, they're too talented for them not to go to the finals, or just for them not to represent the East. They're too talented for that.
Right. All right, let's go West real quick. Warriors still struggling, man. We were on the podcast a month ago, and they were struggling, and nothing's changed. I mean, obviously, had a tragic death of the assistant coach that happened yesterday. Prayers and thoughts to the players and families of the coach. But basketball wise, I mean, it hasn't got any better. We sat here last time, Denny, on the podcast discussing Klay Thompson and all that stuff, and nothing's improved since then. We've had another Draymond Green suspension. Since then, we've had Klay still struggling up and down. Steph is still being Steph, but again, he can't just be him. The pieces ain't fitting. Andrew Wiggins are pulling on the train block now. Is it time to break up the team now before? I mean, obviously, we heard at one point Siakam could have been a piece maybe they could have acquired, but obviously now he's in Indiana. I mean, what's the next step of Golden State? You just ride this out and then let it die this summer, or what do you do? Uh-oh. I feel Take's coming here. Watch this episode on the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel as well too, youtube.com/Earnest Christian, because this dude's a character. That is a character, bro.
Golden State, man, Draymond Green really messed them up. Mm-hmm. Started there.
Yep.
And it's been a whirlwind for the last, I think, 2 years since they've won, since they
last time they
won the chip, since they won the chip. It's been turmoil.
Yep.
And I look at Draymond, and obviously I look at Steve Kerr. Unable, definitely non-Phil Jackson-esque, if you will.
Yeah.
See, with Phil Jackson, a lot of folks forget the X's and O's, forget the triangle. Scotty, forget that. The concept is being able to handle egos.
Right.
As a coach, a great coach, being able to handle egos. Pat Riley. Watch the special on Showtime. I believe it's on Showtime for the Lakers. Watch it, please, to understand.
Wait, is it new?
What the winning time? Winning time is it winning time?
Oh yeah, HBO. Yeah.
HBO.
Max.
Excuse me.
Max. Yeah.
HBO. Yes, please. If you haven't watched it, watch it, please.
I watched season 1. I love season 1.
Just one season. You don't have to watch second season, but just one season to understand Pat Riley and just the coaching and the understanding of he had to coach Magic Johnson, Worthy,
Kareem,
and get them all to buy in. So when you bring it back to Steve Kerr and his inability to rein in the drama ball, which is Draymond Green.
Yeah.
That's when you lose Jordan Poole, which could have been beneficial on this Golden State team. Whether Wiggins has been through some things, background things, and now he's come back and he's been up and down like a roller coaster, Klay Thompson. So I don't even know what to call Draymond Green. Not a roller coaster. It's unbelievable what he did to the team. So furthermore, to land a plane that's actually going down already. Speaking to the passengers, I know we've had some turbulence, but now it's time to land the plane. And Golden State, yes, they're gonna have to ride this out and look to the future with these guys signed for a period of time. Not Klay. Believe Clay's going to be looking for a contract somewhere else because they're not going to re-sign him. I don't think.
Who's going to pay him the money he wants, though?
We'll see. You never know. We'll see. With the market is the market. We'll see.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Golden State, they're going to have to retool next year. And Steph's going to be Steph regardless. But they're going to have to get a big somewhere in there to help them. They need a big. For me, anyway, this small ball can only take you so far against the behemoth. If you're trying to win a chip, now you're not trying to waste Steph Curry's prime years, are you? Golden State? No. You're gonna have to bring in a big from somewhere. I don't know where. A big to help out Steph, or I don't believe another guard's gonna help because once again, look who's at the top of the West.
Yeah,
the Timberwolves, big.
Center.
Thunder, big. Nuggets,
Jokic,
big.
Yep.
Clippers, big.
Yep.
Pelicans, big. Kings,
Big
we have
bonus. Lakers.
Then you have the Mavericks and the Suns.
Lakers.
So and then the Lakers and then the Jazz. But the point is to land the plane once again because it's basically crashing. Is Golden State gonna have to find a big down the line to solve their problems. This year's probably gonna be a wash. I don't expect them to go from 12th to 8th in a month, a couple of 2 months anyway. You never know. They may have the championship grit, but I don't see it.
Yeah, at this point, because of the non-moves they made, I don't see another move out there that's going to change the scope of this season. Like Siakam was the only guy I would have said, okay, that's the one guy that maybe gives you a little bit of hope. I mean,
but you'd have to give up something. But you'd have to give up something from Golden State.
Andrew Wiggins is the only guy you can give up at this point. He's the only tradable asset right now you have outside of Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the question. That's the question you have to ask yourself. And I ask myself right now: Does Wiggins play as great as defense as Pascal Siakam, or does Pascal Siakam play as great as defense as Wiggins? Because obviously Pascal's a better, I think, offensive threat.
Of course.
Absolutely, but defensively,
but Wiggins since the title has fallen apart. Now, obviously, he was out last year for a extended period of time because due to personal reasons. Are we to assume that that's probably still the case? Why he's still struggling? Maybe, I don't know, but something is up.
Something's up, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. But they got their work cut out for them Golden State fans. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. I will say one team though that's turned things around since last time we on the podcast. We last did the podcast in early December. This team was struggling. Not anymore. The Clippers. Oh my Lord. They turned things around.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have Westbrook saying, "Hey, I'll go to the bench. James will start. I'll run the second unit." And they go 8 or 9 deep. Mm-hmm. And right now they're 4th, 26 and 14. They have size. They're long. They're athletic. They play defense, obviously. And with the Clippers, it's just a matter of health, man. It's a matter of health. I don't know how far they could possibly go because Paul George and Kawhi could get injured, and that can change the whole entire complexity of a series in a blink of an eye. A blink.
Yeah.
That's it. So yeah, shout out to them. They're doing very well. And James Harden is doing what he's supposed to do, passing the ball, and he doesn't have to worry about defense too much because he got Paul George and Zubac and Kawhi behind him. So he could just pass the ball and worry about getting everybody involved. So seeding is important. So we'll see what happens with seedings as well.
Yeah, shout out to Kawhi Leonard by the way too. Also, he's played ball. He's been, I think he's missed maybe how much games he played this year. I mean, he's played most of his games this year, obviously.
Kawhi.
Yeah, he's having a great year. He's
playing. He's shown up. He's shown up. So I mean, listen, you give me Toronto Kawhi. Hey, baby. Hey, but
I mean, if you're getting Toronto Kawhi healthy with Paul George healthy and James Harden doing what he's doing, that's your number 2 team in the Western Conference for this year.
There you go. I have no problem saying that if on paper, non-injury besides, I'm like, listen, I take them over the Timberwolves. I take them over the Thunder. And the Nuggets may have a run for their money.
Right.
Period. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's playing so much now. He got an extension, 3 years, $150 million plus.
Light.
I mean, was that? I mean,
playing for the contract. Light.
I'm a little surprised, but at the same time, you get in your arena next year, and you need to have put butts in seats. So I understand the financial ramifications of that, though, too. Also, but
Kawhi Leonard, champion, baby.
You do what you gotta do. I'm not mad at it,
baby.
I'm not mad about it, but I mean. We sat here last time on the podcast. I'm going to bring this up again one more time, the standings, because last time we were on the podcast, we discussed this, and there's still no clarity on this, really, to be honest. In fact, I would argue that the conversation now about number 2 in the West is still fairly muddled. It's more muddled than it was in December, because last time we spoke on the podcast, we said we obviously had the Thunder and the Timberwolves and all that who's challenging Denver. Nothing's changed, really, except there's more teams now in the conversation. I mean, we said the Clippers now, number 4 in the West now. The Pelicans are playing good basketball too themselves. Won 7 out of 10 games. And then you also obviously have the typical Suns Lakers on this side to put together. Suns playing a little better now last couple weeks as well. How do you feel? Like I know obviously the Clippers, when healthy, that's the upside. Obviously, going to the finals. Who right now would you say number 2 is for you right now? You feel most confident about number 2 in the West?
Well, I mean, I believe the Denver Nuggets are going to represent the West in general.
Right. Okay.
So number 2, I mean, Timberwolves cute, baby. Timberwolves, you looking cute, baby, at number 1. You looking cute.
They're sustaining though, brother. We're now
Sustain. That's all right. Come playoff time, you gotta look people in the face.
Yeah.
And then you gotta, whether it's Gobert or whether it's Towns, I know Ant gonna be ready. I know Ant-Man gonna be ready because he went to the USA. He went to the USA, aka AAU for NBA players. He went there and got the juice, so he's gonna be ready for playoffs. That's gonna be light.
Yeah,
there's gonna be other guys where it's gonna be a question. So Denver's already proven made men, so I ain't worried about them. I'm worried about Minnesota being up top. So Thunder too. I mean, that's cute. We gonna see come playoff time. Sustain that because the Nuggets, we already know what the Nuggets can do, and the Clippers obviously question mark, Pelicans question mark. Shout out to the Pelicans doing that with a lineup that's always changing. Shout out to these players that are playing through that, and obviously Zion. If Zion was actually in that lineup a little bit more, who knows? It's gonna be interesting run in this.
I'm telling you, man, I'm looking forward to the this whole thing. I can't wait for see how that plays out. Obviously in the Western Conference, but like we're kind of in the same place we were in January. Like we probably assumed like at some point the Thunder and Wolves might come down to earth a little bit. That hasn't happened. They've sustained through January, and I think at this point, I think we're gonna get that point till at least to the end of the year. Now, what they do in the playoffs, we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously that's the other conversation.
Hot air balloon.
Pop it. You sound very skeptical about those teams still long term in terms of the rest of the season. I know. I'm with you. The try and true is try and true. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. A couple other topics I want to get into. Not related to the NBA season, but did you see the Jerry Krause, the Chicago Bulls Ring of Honor ceremony last week?
So I heard about it. So just to make sure everything's out there. So what we're saying is, so the Jerry Krause. This is the Jerry Krause that was the architect of the Bulls, the GM. The same Jerry Krause that was in I think I've seen a couple of documentaries. I'll get to that in a second. But his wife was there at the Bulls ceremony.
Right. I have the video right here right now. I'll play it for you real quick. It was about a minute long. And okay, basically this is Ring of Honor for celebrating the Bulls dynasty. Now Jordan was not there, and it was Pippen, it was Rodman, but other pieces of that dynasty were there. Obviously Jerry Krause, very controversial figure in Chicago because he's the guy that is held responsible for breaking up that team after winning title 98. He's very much despised in that city for a long time. He passed away in 2017. His wife was there to, in his place to be honored. And when they brought up his name, in the during the ceremony, here's the reaction to the crowd.
NBA champion, two-time NBA Executive of the Year, represented by his wife Thelma, Basketball Hall of Famer and former Bulls general manager Jerry Krause.
That's tough to watch.
I'm a little upset right now. Yep. Nationwide is on your side, Bulls Nation.
It has a reaction to from the Bulls commentators.
Bringing back the legends, and I'm telling you what, Chicago is a sports town, and what we witnessed today when Jerry Krause's name was called, and the people that booed Jerry Krause and his widow, who was accepting this honor for him, it was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I hurt for that lady, brought her to tears. And whoever booed her in this arena should be ashamed of themselves. That's not Chicago. That's New York, Philly. Chicago's not like that. We don't have a reputation of being that way. And whether you like Jerry Krause or not, that man brought 6 championships here. He didn't shoot a basket, nor did he get a rebound, but he put 6 titles up in his ring. There's a lot of teams doing that.
All right, your thoughts on that, man?
Hey, man, you didn't know who was booing. So talking to that particular gentleman that was talking just now, sir, I don't think you saw who booed. If it was multiple, it said fans. So more than one. So I don't know if you can be able to. I don't know if you saw New York on their foreheads.
If we know, it could be Warriors fans there at the game booing.
Could have been, could have been many fans. It was some folks just don't have any class, to be honest with you. It's just the bottom line. Whether you disagree with his antics, Jerry Krause, where you disagree with his moves, or feel that he broke things up, or whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, that wasn't the time or place to share your grievance. So, that's pretty much how I look at it. Jerry Krause has done some things, questionable things, very, very questionable things when it comes to sports and management that a lot of fans could point to. But that doesn't mean you do that then. So
it was cringy. It was cringy as hell. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think it would have been a big deal if she wasn't there and you didn't see the reaction of his widow. I don't think it'd be as big a deal. But because he had that reaction right there, and you see her visually upset at how the reaction to his name, that's, I think, what everybody's reacting to. I don't like it at all, obviously. But at the same time, I sat on it for a couple of days. I'm like, who are we to tell sports fans how to feel? Like, they're fanatics for a reason. The fan is for fanatics. They are going to feel how they feel. And yes, we can all agree that it's not classy. It's a bad look. I totally agree with you 100% on that. But who are we to tell sports fans how to react to things? They're clearly invested in this team. They're clearly pissed off still at what he did. Now, that being said, I don't know how familiar with the Bulls dynasty and all that stuff and all the particulars what happened to that team after that 98. And look, both things can be right here with Jerry Krause. I've said this on the podcast many times, and I'll say it again. Jerry Krause, a moron for what he did, how he handled the situation. Also, Jerry Krause, arguably one of the greatest executives in history in basketball.
Two things can be true, people.
That's
Two
right.
things can be true. I agree.
And that's what it is. I do think, though, and I'll say it again, the guy that gets off of murder on this whole situation is not Jerry Krause. Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner of the Bulls, still gets off scot-free with no criticism. Again,
no, he did it. Bro, you're the owner.
You could have vetoed everything he was doing.
It's not going to happen unless you sign off on it, bro.
Thank you.
Stop it, please.
Yes, exactly.
Stop it.
Like, if you wanted Jordan there, you would have made it happen. You would have told Krause, shove it. I own this team. They're back. Make it work.
Please.
Like, stop.
But that's a great if you're gonna pay. See, guys, ladies and gentlemen, another example here.
Yeah.
Glaring example: when you're a boss, when you're an owner, manager of a sports team, you can easily put someone in a shielding position. So if something happens, you could just point the finger and be like, "No, look at him."
Yeah.
Blame him when you have the actual keys to the freaking car.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that. And to this day, like, you watched the Last Dance, same thing. It's I don't understand how he gets away scot-free with this whole situation. So
shield is all good.
There's that.
Shield. Good shield. Good shield. Good payment for the shield.
Yeah. Other thing I want to touch on those two. Did you see the Carmelo Anthony comments about the jersey number with him and Jokic? They both wore the same number. Obviously, Melo plays first 8 years in Denver, number 15. He gets traded to the Knicks, obviously. Demands a trade to the Knicks. Obviously, Jokic gets a number eventually when he's drafted. in 2014, and that he's upset that number's being used and all that. I don't know how you feel about that situation with Melo. I mean, I get the fact that he feels bad about it, but what are your thoughts on it?
He's supposed to feel bad about it. Shout out to I'm gonna tell y'all like I told my brother Randy J. Krause. He's supposed to feel bad about it, but Joker's 15 is going to be hung in the rafters for Denver. This is a 2-time MVP, and I told him that as a New Yorker, I feel he should have his 15 retired. I think there's a 15 up there already, if I'm not mistaken. I think maybe it's Earl the Pro Monroe. Maybe I'm mistaken.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody's gonna correct me if I'm wrong.
15.
Yeah, I'm sure it's Earl the Pro Monroe. Let me see if I'm not mistaken.
I think it is Pro Monroe. Because Clyde is 10. Walt Clyde is 10.
Next, yeah.
Well, as you look for that, he basically called it move petty. The petty maneuver. It wasn't like we have got numbers to choose from. It was like, here, you got 15.
Yeah, so Earl Monroe's 10. Well, he said, well, Frazier's 10 also. So 15, 15, it looks like it's free. But the Monroe's number 15 jersey was tied. So not in 86. So it's already tied by the Knicks already. So looks like Melo maybe out of no retirements there. But the concept was, I thought Melo had a better NBA span with the Knicks, even though he took Denver to the Western Conference Final.
2009.
I thought his time, All-Star, voting of MVP, won some gold medals, took his team to the I think the semifinals of the East, which should have been farther, because he had a older Jason Kidd, guys that were doing just crazy shit in the background. But back to the 15, unfortunately, he has a right to feel that way. But he just Denver wasn't, unless you won the championship or MVP, then I don't think there really wasn't going to be a way for Melo, even with his accolades in Denver, to have his number retired.
I think it's simpler than that. I think it's, and Melo can feel the way he feels. I'm not going to tell folks how to feel. That's their feelings. But that's a team decision. And the way that relationship ended between Melo and the Nuggets was not pretty. So the team felt a certain kind of way about you.
Bing,
bing. You don't get to decide how they feel. Okay, I want to leave now, but I still want the plaudits to come with it after. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The Nuggets can feel what they feel. If they decide to do a number, cool. But the way you left Denver in 2011, they're still bitter about that. And
I want to leave
also too.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah. I want to leave immediately.
I'm not defending the Nuggets or defending,
no, just what happened. Just what
situation, happened. And you're a guy in Jokic who, even before he won a title last year, was already a more accomplished Denver Nugget than you were before the title. And then he's on a run last year. Like, what are we doing here? It shouldn't be a conversation.
Nope, not at all. So, I mean, he feels what he feels, but I didn't think he was going to have a run at it, the number anyway.
Yeah, be mad if you want, but Jokic, it's his number, and too bad. Sorry. And I love Melo, but too bad.
Yeah, man. It is what it is.
That's not harsh. One last thing, and I want to talk about this with you, because you and I love talking about media, actually, on social media. And want to get your thoughts on, because I had my thoughts on this on my solo podcast last week. I wanted to get your thoughts on this now, on the Stephen A. Smith, Jason Whitlock feud that's gone on now for a few weeks now. Stephen A., of course, finally acknowledged Whitlock, aka the fat bastard. The call him a bitch, call him every bad end under the sun. Of course, Jason Whitlock picking. I already said my piece last week on the podcast. I want your thoughts on the feud.
Guys, ladies and gentlemen, I think I said this on Twitter. I said, through your life, your beautiful existence on this beautiful planet Earth, understand you're going to run into a Jason Whitlock. You're going to run into a Jason Whitlock. And what I mean by that is Jason has been a habitual over-the-line stepper. Habitual. He doesn't know when to stop. Keeps poking. And Stephen A had enough. he had enough.
Yeah.
Enough that he's willing to call you a fat bastard publicly and take time to discuss why he's calling you a fat bastard and a terrible human being.
Remember when we posted the 3-minute clip on that, and I told you, that it was 45 minutes?
Well, Stephen A got drag it out, baby. But yeah, all right. Uncle Stephen A got drag it out. But for me, I was just like, hey, high school, college, corporate America, you're gonna deal with folks that are just, you're asking yourself, who raised you? Why do you think that's okay? What you did with these moves that you're doing, and then it's competition clearly in the background, and they're going at it. But the way you do it, you're better together than separate. Jason Whitlock has been problematic for a period of time, and I wasn't shocked. I was just I was shocked that he obviously took that long to address it, and he felt comfortable calling him a fat bastard.
Competition. I don't even view competition. I view it as Stephen A won that battle a long time ago.
Oh yeah, obviously. I just that when
right,
when they're coming up, when they were coming up, I'm sure it was back and forth. They're trying to get position, but listen, nobody wants to. I've given Jason Whitlock, some time, paid attention to him, watched him, and I was just like, no.
I've been following Whitlock for at least 20 years, and he's gotten worse because first it was the criticism of hip hop world and the hip hop community and the black community and all that, and some of it I can understand to some degree. I don't necessarily agree with everything he said, but I can understand some of the comments and in the rhetoric. But where he lost me especially is that I have friends of mine that worked under Whitlock in media years back, and a lot of the things that Stephen A. Smith said on the his podcast, people have heard throughout the years, and what my friends have told me is accurate. It fits the description. The dude has burned so many bridges in media, whether it's with the Kansas City Star, whether it's with ESPN twice, Fox Sports twice. Hell, him and Clay Travis tried to work together in a partnership, and that didn't work out a couple years ago. Whitlock is basically catering to the only place that will hire him at this point is a far right wing conservative media outlet, and he's playing into that whole thing, and that's his last piece of relevancy at this point is doing that. Dan
Lebertar was like, nah. Dan Lebertar, I tried.
Yeah, I remember that.
I tried. I really tried to help him. He felt in his heart so devastated. I felt it in my soul when Dan was saying it because he's just like, yo, bro, I really tried to help this fool.
Yeah.
And he just was like, no, he just really burned the bridge. And I'm like, I can't go back and deal with this guy. He burned too much of a bridge. And then really quickly, when you mention him and talking about hip hop, I get triggered when folks use the low hanging fruit of hip hop.
Of course, and he's the worst one of that.
Try to attack hip hop because again, I tell anybody who tries to attack hip hop, I say to them, hip hop is more positive than negative overall in terms of the 50-year talking about of hip hop, the whole entire pie, if you will, is is definitely more positive than negative. Number one. Number two, music is one of the languages that brings everyone together.
Mm-hmm.
All different languages, all different backgrounds. 50 Cent just traveled 100 cities overseas. So when you're in Bulgaria, when you're in Russia, when you're in Sweden, Australia, and they're saying G-Unit, we ain't here. You can get the drummer popping. We don't care. Excuse me. That's what music and hip hop does. And finally, money. Obviously, you have families that are feeding other families and generations of families for Black communities. That music has been probably the only hip hop and music has been probably the only way to get in and make your mark and have generational wealth for a lot of Black people.
Correct.
So
Absolutely.
please, just you, Jason Whitlock, to you. God bless. Leave hip hop alone, but to land it all together. Yeah, Stephen A is obviously the top of the top, and Jason Whitlock will never, ever, ever, ever be as relevant as he was when he first started. And he's a cancer.
He is. The guy must have tough skin because for him and he's still picking him a week later, still picking them, still doing things a week later.
I mean, but again, you can't yell at the moon. I mean, you can't yell at the moon. So it was a tap. It was a tap by Whitlock. Stephen A came through, gave him the Mike Tice, put him down, put him to sleep real good, put him to nap, gave him the comforter. You know what I mean? Put the nice music on, the Sade in the background, gave him some incense. That's it. He don't need to even address Whitlock no more. He's finished. He's dead.
Yeah.
Like, it's a tombstone there. That's it. Don't even address him no more.
I mean, Whitlock only gains from him then because of the fact that by him acknowledging him, he only gained from that. To be honest, that's the only thing I will say that Stephen A did wrong was that by acknowledging him, Whitlock actually gained some relevancy, some degree, even for a couple of days.
It is. Listen, you do charity, baby. when you on the throne,
right?
Sometimes you do come down and look at the presents.
Yeah, absolutely.
You. I want to pick on you today. Come here.
Yeah.
Come here. You. You're my gesture for today. You're the one I'm going to pick on today because I am the king and you're a peasant, and that's how the way the world works sometimes.
Absolutely. Anyway, Denny, good job as always, man. Plug what you got to plug.
You know what it is. The NBA Whisperer, Denny Blanco, Randy J. Krause. It's in the Game podcast. Check it out on Instagram, TikTok. You check us out. We're expanding conversations outside of sports. We're gonna get definitely some folks interviews in the first quarter of 2024, the year of the Black Mamba. Once again, the year 2024, the year of the Black Mamba. What I say is you treat the years like the Black Mamba would treat a game. It's 24 hours a day. You go out what you need to go at. So holla at your boy. If you disagree with anything I said, please come through, follow me, and tell me why you disagree and what point you disagree with. Sir Denny Blanco on TikTok, IG, and Twitter. You know what it is, EJ. Thank you so much for having me once again.
Good job as always, brother. Good job.